Hi, thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Shannon. I am a certified yoga instructor. And today we're going to go through a yoga sequence to help you release tight muscles after cycling. So, whether you like to hit the open road on a bike, or you prefer a stationary bike, or maybe you just are experiencing tight hips, hamstrings, and glutes, as well as quads, this yoga sequence will really help you to improve performance of your next ride and reduce soreness. For today's yoga class, I recommend having 2 blocks to help elevate the ground in some of the lunging positions. Also, it's great to have a wall or a couch nearby for a little quad opener that we're going to be doing. And then it can also be really helpful to have a blanket or something that you can pad one of your knees with as we go through the poses. So once you've got all your props and you have lots of space to your sides to open everything up, then you can meet me down on your mat and we're going to get started on all fours in a tabletop position. We'll start today's practice moving through a few rounds of cat-cow to open up the shoulders, upper and lower back. So as you inhale, drop your belly, reach the crown of your head up for cow pose. As you exhale, curl your spine, drop your head for cat pose. Cat-cow is really good to do when you get off a bike because a lot of times when we sit, we're a little hunched forward, or we're putting some pressure on areas of the body and things start to get a little tight or tense. So cat-cow can be good to do before you hop on the bike, after you're done with your workout, just opening everything up. Using your breath to guide your movement here. Inhaling through cow, exhaling through to cat. And make it one fluid motion as you move with your breath. And one more round. Flexing and extending the spine, feeling every vertebrae articulate. And then coming back to a neutral spine. And next we're going to straighten the right leg, send it back behind you, tuck your toes on the mat. Just start to rock forward and back. So you'll start to feel a calf opening here. You may even feel a hamstring stretch. So when we're on the bike and pedaling hard, and we've got some resistance going, we're using the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, and the calf muscles quite a lot. So it's really good to take the time to stretch them out. Good. Keep rocking forward and back. And then bringing the right leg in, extend the left leg out and do the same thing. So rocking forward and back gently. And just observing which side of the body might be feeling tighter. It's pretty common to have one side of the body that is stronger, that we favor when we hop on a bike. Ultimately we want to use both sides evenly, our right and our lefts, pulling up, pushing down. But it's pretty common to have some imbalances. So you may notice that one leg is a little tighter as well too. So taking the time to even out both sides. Good. And then finding some stillness here. Extend both legs out, come into a high plank. And then walk down to your forearms, coming into a forearm plank. Think about your body being straight as a board. Hug your belly button in, squeeze your glutes here. So we're just opening up the chest, strengthening the shoulders. This will help to strengthen the arm muscles that we use when we're pedaling up a big hill. Because the upper body is working some too. We're also toning the glutes, legs, posterior chain. Good. One more inhale. And then exhale, lower your knees down, lower your belly down, untuck your toes, setting up for a sphinx pose. Make sure that your forearms are parallel, your index fingers are facing forward, and then really ground down through your feet. Start to open up your chest, open up your heart, let your collarbone broaden, and breathe. So just opening up the shoulders and the chest, counteracting some of that sitting forward that we do when we're on the bike. Good, full deep inhales. Long, slow, steady exhales. Keeping your gaze nice and neutral. One more inhale. Exhale, gently lower down. Walk your palms in towards your chest. Tuck your toes and then lift your hips. Press back into a downward facing dog. So in your down dog, your index fingers are facing forward, really grounding your knuckle pads down into the ground to alleviate any sensitivity in the wrist. And then getting your hips up really high towards the ceiling. You can keep a bend in the knees here, shooting your hips up, lengthening through your spine, and then you can start to gently straighten the legs any amount here, allowing the heels to come a little closer to the ground. You don't have to have the heels touching, but you should start to feel a big stretch down the legs, down the calves, down the hamstrings. So again, lengthening those muscles that are doing that really heavy work on a bike when we're pushing and pulling the pedals. Good, full deep belly breaths here. You can pedal out the feet now, bending one knee, then the other. Keep your breath flowing. Now, as you bend one knee and lengthen the other, you may notice that your heel of one side can go a little bit deeper down towards the ground, getting that nice big calf stretch. And then finding a neutral position. Inhale, reach your right leg up. As you exhale, bend the knees, shift forward, and plant your foot in between your hands. Good. Setting up for a runner's lunge. Broaden through your collarbone, open up through your chest. Take an inhale. As you exhale, left hand plants down to the inside of the right foot. Start to twist open to the right. Your hands can come on your low back, or you can reach it up towards the ceiling. So you'll start to feel not only an opening in the mid-body, but you'll also start to feel a big stretch down the back of the right leg. Good. Squeeze your inner thighs together here. It always helps if you smile. Breathe. And let your exhale take you a little deeper into the twist. Good. One more inhale. Exhale, lower the top arm down. Drop your back knee down. And then bring your hands up to your thigh. And get really strong and steady in the legs. You can either tuck or untuck your toes here, so your choice depending on what feels the most spacious and what feels the most steady and stable for you. When you're ready, inhale, lift your arms up, hug your ribs in, into Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Now, start to tilt the pelvis slightly here until you feel a stretch down your left hip flexor. A lot of times when we hop on the bike, the hips can get kind of tight. So low lunge is a really great way to start to open up the hip flexors here. One more inhale. Exhale, gently bring your hands down. Now, if you've got your blocks with you today, bring them to frame your front foot. And then place your hands on the blocks. You can either place your palms down or tent your fingertips. We're gonna come into a hamstring stretch here. We're gonna go for half splits. So start to shift your weight back, straighten your front leg. You can bring your blocks with you. Turn your right toes up towards the ceiling. Feel a big stretch in that hamstring. Try to find a neutral gaze here. Release tension in your shoulders and breathe. You can play around with the block height here as well. So sometimes the lowest height, the medium height, or the highest height works best, just depending on how the hamstrings are feeling day to day. If you just got off the bike, they may be a little warm, but they might still be a little sore. If you are recovering from a heavy ride yesterday, the body's feeling a little stiff and a little tense, then you might want the blocks on a higher height. So giving yourself grace each day. Good, one more inhale. And then exhale, slowly start to come up. So from here, we're going to come into a pretty deep quad stretch using something that you can assist you to prop the back leg up and really get into the back quad. So I've got a couch behind me, so I'm going to use my couch. You can also use a wall. And if you have any sensitivity in the knees, you can also grab a hold of a blanket or a towel or something that you can place underneath your back knee. So I'm going to have my right leg in front, my left knee and back behind me. I'm going to slide my back leg up against the couch, bringing my heel in toward my glute. I've got support through that knee, and then I'm going to come back into that lunge, feeling that big quad opener here. So an assisted quad opener. And then just breathing. It already feels pretty intense for me. So again, this is one of those poses that might change for you day to day, depending on how you're feeling, how tight everything is, if you just did a ride, or if you did one or 2 days ago. The quads are one of the biggest muscle groups in the body, so it was important to take the time to stretch them out. The longer you stay here, the more open your quads will be as well. Full deep belly breaths, in through the nose, out through the nose, and then gently start to come down. Good. You can move the blanket off towards the side. I know it's a little clunky to get out of this. And we'll make our way back into a downward facing dog. And we'll do everything on the other side. So inhaling, lift the left leg. Exhale, bend your knee, shift forward. Put your foot in between your hands. Pausing in that runner's lunge. Get strong through the back leg. Take an inhale. As you exhale, right hand comes to the inside of the left foot. Start to twist open to the left. Hand can come on the small foot, the back, or you can reach the arm up, coming into that twist and feeling that big stretch all the way down the back body. Now, if the wrists are feeling sensitive at all, you can always take fists here as well. Good, squeezing everything into the midline, and then using your exhale to deepen your twist. So twisting from the mid part of the spine, the space where the ribs connect to the back. One more inhale. And then exhale, lower the hand down. Drop your back knee, preparing for Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Bring your hands on your left thigh. Good, playing around with the pelvic tilt here so that you start to feel space in your lower back. Also, so you start to feel that stretch, this time in the right hip flexor. So very likely you'll have one hip flexor that feels more spacious, one hip flexor that feels a little tighter. Observing which one that is for you, not judging it, just taking the time to equalize, send oxygen and blood into those areas. Reach your arms up, hug your ribs in, squeezing everything into center. One more inhale. And exhale, tent your fingertips down. If you've got your blocks, move them so that they're framing your front foot. And then start to shift your weight back, lengthening the left leg, lifting the left toes up off the mat. And again, playing with the height of the blocks here as well. So just because one height worked for you on the other side doesn't mean that it's the right height for you on this side. So playing around, breathing here, finding a neutral gaze, lengthening the hamstring. Breathing with any discomfort, letting your breath calm your mind. It's just as important when you love a physical activity like spinning to take the time to stretch and loosen afterward. will help with your overall performance and reduce the risk of injury. Good. Start to rebend the front knee. You can move your blocks out of the way. And then we're going to move into that quad stretch on the other side. So go ahead and back it up, coming to a wall or the couch or whatever you've got near you. If you want to use that padding, grabbing a towel or a blanket nearby for a little extra protection on the knee. And then just like we did on the other side, we'll have the left leg in front this time. We'll slide the right leg back. And then when you're ready, lifting up, you can have the hands on the front thigh, bringing the heel in towards the glute, tall spine here. Think about the posture muscles, so your chest coming forward, your shoulders coming down. And breathing. It may be uncomfortable, so if that is the case for you, which it is for me, then maybe a little smile on your face, but really using your breath here as the tool to help anchor you. So long, slow inhales, smooth, steady exhales. Even count the breath if that helps. Good. One more inhale. And exhale, slowly come forward, release your back leg, moving any props out of the way. Great job. And then we're going to take a seat on our mat, coming into a butterfly pose. So sometimes it can help to also use a blanket or a towel here as well. Sitting on something to prop your hips up, which can help to elongate the spine, using the natural curve in the spine. So sitting your hips on a little elevation, and then bend your knees, plant the soles of your feet together. Let your knees come open. Now again, posture muscles here, opening, lengthening through your chest, taking an inhale. As you exhale, if you'd like to fold forward into a deeper hip stretch, feel free to do so. Breathing full, deep belly breaths here. In through the nose, out through the nose. Coming as deep as feels safe and comfortable for you. Now, if you're noticing you're rounding forward a lot and hunching here, think about your chest pulling through, maybe coming out of the fold a little bit to keep the integrity of your spine. Good. Inhale here. And exhale, come up. One more forward bend. This time, both legs are going to be outstretched towards the front of the room. Lengthen through your spine. Flex your feet. Spread your toes. Inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, start to hinge forward from your hips, folding forward. Your hands can come down to the shins, to the ankles, or around the feet. But again, if you're noticing that you're rounding forward and hunching, I encourage you to come out of it a little bit, maintaining a more neutral spine, staying upright. You'll still feel a hamstring stretch. Also, if you have a strap or the loop of a bathrobe with you, you can use that to hook it around your feet, allowing you to fold a little deeper, but creating also a little bit more space and less tension. Good. One more inhale in the seated forward bend. And exhale, slowly come up. You can move your blanket off to the side. And we'll lower down to the mat. Coming into a bridge pose. So walk your feet in towards your heels. Feet hip distance apart. If you'd like, you can even take a block and you can bring it in between your thighs, just allowing the legs to be in a nice neutral position. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift your hips up. You can walk your shoulders underneath. So bridge pose is a really great pose to do after a spin class because it lengthens your hip flexors. It also engages the glute muscles, and it helps prevent any rounding forward of the shoulders. You can clasp your hands behind your back and roll your shoulders open. You can keep the block there. If you want to remove the block, if you don't feel like it helps you, you can remove it. Keeping the breath flowing here. One more inhale. And exhale. If you've got the hands clasped, release the clasp. Lowering your hips down to the floor. You can release the block if you are using one. And then cross your right leg over your left leg. Flex your right foot. Coming into a reclined figure 4. When you're ready, lift the left leg up. Slide your hands through the space between your legs. Grab hold of the back of your left thigh or the front of your left shin. A nice hip opener here. Full deep belly breaths. Inhale and slow, long, steady exhale. Let your shoulders relax. Notice where you're holding tension that you don't need. And then release the grip of your hands. Reach your arms to the sides. Cross your legs a little tighter. Bring the knees in. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring both legs over to your right, coming into a reclined twist. Now, if the cross of the legs doesn't feel good in your twist, you're more than welcome to uncross them. Stack the legs one on top of the other, and then take a twist that way. Just releasing the low back here, opening up the side of the body. One more inhale. And exhale, gently come back to center. Good, lower the feet down, cross the left leg over the right leg, flex the left foot, take an inhale. Exhale, lift the right leg, thread the hands through, grab hold of the back of the thigh. And then just let your breath flow here as you open the hips. Release tension in the shoulders. Release tension in the jaw, in the forehead. One more inhale. As you exhale, unclasp, reach the arms long, and then close the legs a little closer together. Bring the knees up. As you exhale, bring both legs over to the right. You can gaze towards the left if that feels okay for your neck. Breathing through that mid part of your back. Releasing anything you might have been holding on to from your exercise or from your day. And then slowly unwinding, coming back to center. Hug both of your knees into your chest. And then if you'd like to rest briefly in a Savasana, you can extend the legs long, allowing your palms to face open, and your feet to flop open to the sides. Just taking a few moments to let the body release and relax here. And you can stay in your Shavasana for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 20 minutes. When you're ready to come out of it, you'll bend your knees, roll over onto one side, and press yourself up. Just taking a moment to notice how your body is feeling. So, again, you can do this yoga practice before or after a spin class, definitely after to loosen up those muscles that you worked, and even the day after as well to kind of continue loosening things up. This sequence will help you to improve your overall ride by reducing tension and helping the blood flow back into those muscles for optimal recovery. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great next ride, and I'll see you again on the mat soon.